Hello and welcome to Reportage. This is Danish bin Nabi. In today's segment of Reportage, I have with me author Gaurav Sood to talk about his recently released book Fake News, which is published by Penguin House. What the fake news is and how this factory operates. Let's listen into Mr. Sood. Mr. Sood, you have come up with this brilliant book on the fake news. For the viewers, explain it for the viewers. What prompted you to write down such a book on the fake news on this subject?
Okay. All right. Thanks, Danish. It's good to be here on this show. While I did my PhD research on the impact of brand doppelganger image on Indian Premier League, that is IPL, because at that time IPL was marred with a lot of controversies, spot fixing, match fixing, money, glamour, and right, whether it's a gentleman's sport or not. So I thought, why, the question in my mind was that why, with so much of controversy and so much of doppelganger imagery which has been created for this particular brand, but still the brand value is increasing. So that made me interested in, finding out about this phenomenon of brand doppelganger. And from there, so brand doppelganger is basically the brand alter ego, which is created by consumers, anti-brand activists, competitors, opinion leaders, media, and the public by circulating disparaging images of the brand in the popular culture. My Amazon bestseller, Troll Proof Branding in the Age of Doppelganger, my first book, which was published by Sage India, delves deep into this mechanism of fake news, culture jamming, brand activism, and trolling. And these are the components of, how a brand doppelganger is created. So they contribute to the creation of this dual imagery of a particular brand, which generally is negative in nature, right? It's like red Spider-Man and black Spider-Man, or Sita or Gita, right? So this was very interesting. I was, very interested in this. So while I was writing, I devoted one chapter of my book on fake news because fake news was also creating this particular imagery, which is a negative imagery of a particular brand. So if I'll try in a simple way, if I try to make you understand, is that brand doppelganger, every brand tries to do best for their particular brand so that, they take the top of mind position in consumers' mind. But then there is a lot of, but the way this whole communication is coded, how consumer decode it, because there's a lot of experiences this consumer goes through while dealing with the brand, which could be service of a particular brand, product, what they are selling, right? And the company, how company is conducting themselves in the marketplace, whether stock market or otherwise. So are they doing good practices or not? So this whole decoding, there'll be certain gap. You can't make everybody happy. So there'll be some consumers who are not happy with you, and some people who are jealous with you. I mean, your competition is one of them, right? I mean, if you see political parties, right? So nobody wants, everybody wants to pull each other down. Maybe that affects our democracy, but that's okay. I mean, that's one of the part of democratic process of having a strong opposition. So therefore, right, fake news is one of those tactics or guerrilla warfare which is done in communication. So guerrilla communication, which is done to basically, malign the image of a particular brand, which could be people or a product. So, or a company, right, or a country for that matter. So
So,
therefore, yeah. So therefore, fake news. I'll just complete it. Therefore, fake news is that idea, but I thought there's too much to this particular phenomenon of fake news than what I have mentioned in the chapter, because I was limited in my scope there. So I thought of writing this book on fake news.
so the origins of the fake news. You have mentioned three important historical incidents of the humanity. First, the Krishna, the Mahabharata war. Then you say about Roman
Helen
Empire.
of Troy.
Yeah. Then you say about the American Civil War. So we're basically, how did this originate? This concept of the fake news to malign the other. How does this originate? Where does basically this come from? this concept of fake news?
Yeah, so concept of fake news has been there from ages, right? I mean, whatever mankind can remember, right? I mean, what we can recall is, Mahabharata, where, right, when Ashwathama, Dronacharya's son, I mean, obviously, Dronacharya was given a tough time to Pandavas in the war, and so they didn't know what to do, right? How to destroy or kill him. So they Krishna figured it out a trick, right? So they said, I mean, he recommended or suggested to Yudhishthira that if you kill this elephant, which is named Ashwathama, right, who's also is the name of Dronacharya's son, maybe that'll demoralize Dronacharya, and then we'll get an opportunity to kill him, and that's what exactly happened. And so Yudhishthir was chosen because Yudhishthir always tells the truth. So when Yudhishthir went to Dronacharya after killing that elephant, which Bhim did, he had to just break the news to Dronacharya. And Dronacharya was sitting in his own meditation, and he went and he said, Ashwathama is dead. And Ashwathama, the elephant, before he could, when he spoke elephant, Krishna played the shank. And Dronacharya couldn't hear that it was the elephant which has been killed, and he then thought that he'll take a samadhi or he'll destroy himself.
So we have examples of this fake news originating in the religious texts as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's all we can recall. It would be before that also, but then we need to go back to the history to find that out. So. And then from there, I mean, that's where I recall that how fake news has been used. I mean, it's used in current wars, whether it's Israel, Gaza, or Ukraine, Russia. Fake news is everywhere, right? Everybody is claiming, right, things which are not true about the particular war. And therefore, I mean, a weapon of mass destruction was a big fake news, no? Which is American.
Which you have duly mentioned in the book as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's the biggest lie which the American government has, told to public at large.
Millions of people died because of this one lie, WMD.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I was reading another report on the internet. India now is considered to be a fake factory of the fake news. Why is it so that Indians have fallen to this fake news?
Okay, so why Indians have fallen to the fake news are, there are multiple reasons why it is done. I mean, obviously, in India the literacy rate is low, right, and therefore, um, objectivity, gets missed out while we are consuming news. And so whatever, we believe that whatever comes through TV or whatever comes through the celebrated figures of our country, which could be politicians, right, or bigger companies, so whatever they may say might be true, and we believe it more than any other country, where even in America, nobody will believe in any of the product till they read each and every detail which is printed on the product packaging. Right. So therefore, in India, that doesn't happen. How many times have we gone on the market and picked up the packet and tried to see how much is gluten? Is it gluten free? How much is it? How much is carbohydrate in it? We can't even differentiate between a atta bread or a brown bread, right?
So education is one of the important components in breaking down this fake news. Sorry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then there are confirmation biases, which in India is very strong. I mean, obviously, that's also because of illiteracy. That, whatever we want to see, only what we believe in. And what we believe in is
something. Yes, which you have mentioned in the book as well, about the algorithms. Absolutely. Your choice of politics, your choice of religion, the algorithms gives you the only that much of news, not the other side of the story.
Yeah. So algorithms are digitally. I mean, digitally, whatever I buy on Amazon or whatever I consume on Netflix, they try to put or show me or limit my choice by showing me or putting forward only those related kind of products, right? So I again become limited that this is the world which I'm in. Right. So if you keep on telling lies again and again, or if you are trying to show me something again and again, right, it will start impacting my behavior. Right. And that is what fake news does. So it develops a confirmation bias. So if I'm a BJP supporter, no matter whatever is said,
We will come to that
whatever
part
they get,
of that part also. You have also written comprehensively, not only the common people, but the celebrities too get affected by this fake news in one of your chapters.
absolutely. So celebrities do get affected by fake news. I mean, everything. I mean, brand can be a perpetrator and brand can be a victim. So, A, that brand can create fake news and brand can get affected by fake news, right? So, there are a lot of stories which I've done, Malaika Arora and Arjun Rampal.
Absolutely.
They have taken, right? And so whatever reports are getting published, whether she's pregnant or right and not. So, where Arjun
And you have mentioned about the Arjun Kapoor as well when he had to debunk those myths and post something about the pregnancy.
very true. And he went back to the tabloid, the way, where are you getting this kind of a news, right? And this has been,
And even he had named that reporter as well as the publishing house as well.
absolutely, absolutely. So he took it on Twitter against them, and he said this is all false, right? I mean, somewhere you have to take them head on if, right, anything is spread about you, and every brand try to do that also. But still, I mean, can you reach out to each and every person? So cognitive bias, confirmation bias, availability heuristics, like whatever is available to me, I'll believe in that only, right? सो मेरे घर में जिस भगवान की पूजा होती है मैं उसी की पूजा करने लग जाऊँ because that is available to me, that is most easily accessible to me. I will not try to figure it out any other, you know god or any other thing. So whatever is cooked in my house, I'll try to get right maximum out of it rather than trying something new. And that is where in news consumption similar kind of a behavior works. So
Now coming to the government part or the politics part of fake news. Why is it that fake news is generally against the opposition parties? Especially we have seen it after 2014, 15 and 16. Generally all the majority of the fake news is against the opposition parties.
and that's the game of the power. Right. So all laws which are coming up is protecting the government and crucifying the others, right? So whichever law it might be. So even if law against YouTubers, which is going to come in now in practice once it gets approved. So anybody who's mocking the government, and government will choose selectively decide that whom to put in jail, right? So I mean, that's how it's worked. So corruption is for others. Corruption is not for them. I mean, so many corrupt people, I mean, as claimed by the government itself, have joined the government and now they are clean, right? So as you know what is happening. So which is the washing machine which is doing that? But then that's how it is. So it's all power game. It's all the majority game which is happening. So are we deviating from the democratic process of India? Are we not being objective? Are we not being fair? Are we not giving equal opportunity to others for, freedom of speech? So, I mean, that's a question which needs to be debated. And so many debates are anyways going on.
Mr. Sood, Mr. Sood, you have thoroughly investigated this book, a well-researched book you have written. Who, in your view, is the political leader who has been most affected by the fake news?
I don't know. What comes out is Rahul Gandhi, for that matter. Right?
The, his that Pappu image that has been built.
Absolutely, absolutely. So people try to do that fake image also, but BJP or Narendra Modi is a big elephant party, right? So they get affected slowly, right?
Is it that the present political dispensation knows how to manage media, how to spread these newses?
Absolutely. So their media management and their management of elections is much more better. I'll put it that way than the opposition, and they have much more muscle power. I mean, you know how much of electoral bond is contributed to BJP and what is contributed to others. We have seen something happening in Chandigarh, right? All this is happening. So not everything get caught because Sanya is the Kotwal. so so you can do whatever you want to do.
But
But
social media platforms, as you have mentioned in the book, social media platforms, especially WhatsApp and Facebook, are two major factories from where these fake news originate. Isn't the responsibility on their shoulders as well?
yes, very true. It is their responsibility to identify these fake news, which they are doing it, right? Which they are doing it. But then, are they? How much are they successful in doing it? I mean, that's a big question mark. So I agree with you that it is the responsibility of these platforms, right? Which got exposed while the in the Cambridge Analytica case. During
Absolutely.
the
Which you have thoroughly again mentioned in the book.
Absolutely. In 2016 Donald Trump or US elections, it got exposed that how micro targeting is done, how people are influenced through by profiling them, finding out which party do they support, what is their ideology, and then try to brainwash them through social media reach. So yeah, and so Mark Zuckerberg had to come out in the Senate and has to apologize and said that
Absolutely.
yes, we need to protect the privacy of the individuals who are there on our platform. But how much is it possible to do it? Who will decide what is fake and what is not? Even our fact checkers, which are there, Alt News and all in India, probably, or Snoop.com, what are they going to do? I mean, they also can't pick up every news. They can only
And they have a
pick up
limited resources as well, which plays one of the
absolutely.
major roles.
Absolutely. So they can only pick up selective, most viral, most impact oriented news and then try to fact check it. Or they could be also biased. I mean, they might be only checking the ruling government, news which is coming out from ruling government and trying to expose that.
So,
So
Mr. Sood, what is the way out of this quagmire? How to tackle it? What needs to be done?
yeah, so a that people need to be made more aware. I mean, it's a multi.
But
It's
we
a
have a huge population, and most of them, many of them, I must say, are illiterate, as you said. So how to tackle it? It's a monster which we cannot tame.
Absolutely. So illiteracy is not only, illiteracy cannot be taken as an excuse for, making them aware of, right, that all the news which they are consuming is not truth, right? We have done it with population, right? We have population control. We have done it with polio drops. We have done it with COVID, right, vaccination. So,
But
if the
but
intent is
this
there to
medium is
protect the crowd.
completely entirely different than tackling polio or tackling COVID.
So you have to go gaon and try to take your video vans and try to tell educate the villagers. But who's going to do it? I mean, is it going to affect it? If the if people become more aware, right? That means they will take more sound decisions, more objective decisions. Is that
which
good
which
for
no
the
government
public?
wants.
Absolutely. So if people are poor, that helps the government, no? Because then they can do all those free rationing and 80 crore population getting free ration, right? And then get them into mandir and Hindu Muslims and stuff like those. So yeah, if you are educated, you will not get into it. But then, but this does not I'm surprised that this even crosses the boundary of literacy or income for that matter.
Absolutely.
I mean, we have been doing thali and tali during COVID. I mean, we know that this is not a remedy for making COVID run
But
away
still,
from.
we went with this thali.
Well, I saw people around buildings. I mean, people in crores of building.
You were part of
Running.
those. Did you also do this thali thing?
Sorry, I didn't do it, but I witnessed it from a balcony. So,
Which is understood.
yeah, but somebody might say, I have a confirmation bias, right? But then, yeah, so, I mean, put it in Hindi, पढ़े लिखों के लिए ज़्यादा मुश्किल है. So, right, to take sides or to digest a lot of things which is happening around. But then we are not the only public in India. 1.4 billion, we are minuscule. So even if you see 10% of the population of India is earning more than 25,000, where 4% is earning more than 70,000 per month, you can imagine, no? हमारी needs ही अलग हैं, our priorities are completely different with that kind of income disparity.
Mr. Sood, let me ask you very simply one simple thing. हम बात कर रहे हैं पढ़ाई की, एडुकेशन की। क्या आपको नहीं लगता है ऐसी एक किताब आप फिर से लिखें या इस किताब को ट्रांसलेट आप हिंदी में करें, ताकि ये बहुत से लोग उन तक पहुंचे कि फेक न्यूज क्या है, कैसे इसको रोकना है। क्या ऐसा कोई प्लान है आपके पास, इसको आप हिंदी में ट्रांसलेट करेंगे? क्योंकि हिंदी में जितना लिटरेचर ऐसा हो, मुझे लगता है वो सोसाइटी के लिए बेहतर रहता है।
Absolutely. So you're absolutely right. My Hindi is good, but my Hindi writing might not be that good. But yeah, this book can be translated. I've requested the publishers to please find another publisher, a Hindi one, where we can translate this book so it reaches out. I don't care about monetizing for monetary benefits which I may get. I mean, I may give that in charity, but then I want people to know what is happening, people to understand why it is happening, why are they falling for fake news, who's creating fake news, and how is it affecting our democracy or the products we buy. Patanjali, you have seen recent example. So Supreme Court has
luckily Supreme Court has jolted them down.
Absolutely, and but we've been living in ages, no? आज की तारीख में हम समोसा खाते हैं, हमें क्या पता उस समोसे में क्या ingredients, right? Is there a packaging to it? Is there any regulatory body which sees whatever is produced on streets? Is it good for consumption? So we don't, so we are pretty away from many things which, in terms of governance or in terms of what we are consuming, and news is part of that. So therefore, we need to, I think so, be more. We need to work towards, and everybody, I think so. It's not only government's responsibility; it's everybody's responsibility to do it.
Mr. Sood, we have been doing this interview for about 25 minutes, and I am afraid I have to wind this interesting interview up. And I do hope that we see a Hindi translation of this book, which is the need of the hour. Let me take this opportunity and hold your book once more so that it reaches to the maximum people. And I do hope it gets translated and people do read your book more and more to understand what fake news is and how it's going to affect our society. Thank you, Mr. Sood, for talking to me.
Thank you very much, Danish. Thank you for having me on your show.
Please subscribe to our channel Reportage and press the bell icon to remain updated.